LPT request: how to stop oneself from saying or while speaking. I've noticed a lot of times when having a conversation in a professional environment that I frequently use or while speaking to boss, clients, regulators, etc., even in situations where I know exactly what I need to say. Any tips or suggestions that could help me phase that out and sound more of a professional and less of I don't know what I'm talking about kind of person? I'm still working on it, but you have to slow your roll and think about exactly what you're going to say before saying it. And the like are usually you trying to fill silence while you think of the next words you want to use. Practice being comfortable with silence while you are speaking. The best public speakers often use silence to add emphasis or weight. Be mindful and slow down. Also accept silence is okay. I used to say them both often. I was given the advice to intentionally add one pause to each sentence at random. After doing that for a while, my sentences were better thought out and the UMMS and UHHS went away drastically. Watch a recording of yourself. Go to Toastmasters. They'll count them for you and make you more conscious of using them, as well as overall make you a better speaker. I used to train call center peeps, and one technique is to put a rubber band around one wrist and slap it every time you say It doesn't hurt, but it creates a negative feedback and takes people from saying 40-50 times in a conversation to almost zero within a day. Also, this is how I was trained in, and now is not part of my vocabulary. Record yourself. Call centers do this kind of training all the time to get people to stop saying that. Record yourself. Listen. See where you are put the or and find out why. Eventually it just goes away, or you find a new filler word that works in a conversation. Just so you are aware, this train is needed for any call center representative, or they would get eaten alive. Even more than they do. Customer on the phone are ruthless, and they will hear an or and think you are an idiot and go off on you. This is why a lot spend weeks breaking this habit and then have one-on-one making sure it stops, along with other metrics they cover. Watch James Spader in The Office. Mimic his behaviors and it'll come naturally soon enough. Pause. Think where what you have said is taking you and where you want to be. You will just learn to fill in the rest. Also, overshoot the length. You will eventually forget the speech and at least hopefully won't Stop talking to fill the silence and actually think about what you are going to say. Record yourself and listen to it back. Once you hear yourself, your motivation to change will increase a lot. Practice. Really, that's it. Be conscious of it and work on things slowly. Speaking slower and knowing what you're going to say before you say it helps. Might sound stupid, but most people don't have the whole sentence in their mind when they start speaking. Also, silence is okay. Most people are uncomfortable by gaps, so they fill it with whatever noise they can. This is what my English teacher did, and it worked perfectly for me. Was annoying though. Ask a friend or family member to listen to you speak. And every time you use a filler word like or have them loudly yell the or over you. You quickly become super self-aware of it, and you naturally start to pause when you feel like saying it. Professional video interviewer here. I run into this problem a lot since I work exclusively with non-professional speakers. What I tell people is to consciously add a dramatic pause in place of their UMMS. It takes a little bit to get used to, but it is quite effective. I also use this in my own life, but not for UMMS. I have a speech impediment and will randomly run into word combinations I can't say, and the only way to get around it is to add a dramatic pause. Unfortunately, in my case, sometimes the pause is too long and my wife just interrupts me and finishes my sandwiches lol. Discipline. I always keep my mouth shut until I have prepared the sentence I wish to speak. Let me get a burger every time. I teach this for a living. Use body language more to get over the placeholders your brain is putting in place. Gently moving your hand to the rhythm of your tones will give your speaking prosody your brain needs. Knowing how to articulate planned thoughts takes practice and nonverbal communication. Do you read? Next time you are reading your fav book or magazine, read it out loud. Understand that pitch, tone, cadence, and being mentally ahead of your material gives you the ability to speak with a sense of authority or purpose. Also, find a Toastmasters group. Are you my coworker? I was on a call with her and about a dozen other people, and when she hit 100 I hung up. I couldn't take it. She hit 100 in the first 5 minutes. For you, I'd recommend maybe recording yourself speak and counting your s and making yourself hyper-conscious of what you're saying. Thanks to everyone taking their time to comment. All of these suggestions are awesome. The one that I've read over and over is to record myself, which sounds like an amazing tip I'm going to give. This is shot along with other tips such as the pausing and rubber band on the wrist tips. Looking forward to reading every single one. Thank you all once again. Teach that to Trudeau. You could always try the Samuel Jackson approach. Maybe you're pressuring yourself into feeling like you have to fill the void by saying anything at all, and it comes out as UHMS. If you try to say nothing instead, you may think they notice that you have to say, but it might as well look as if you're doing a deliberate pause. Think before you speak, i.e., formulate your idea and wording before you start speaking. Instead of just stop for a sec and take a small breath in. Practice. Work at just letting it be silent while you're working on the next word. Slow your speech pattern so your brain has time to come up with the next thought. It took a while, but I've learned to just pause instead of filling the silence with an Often the silence isn't as long as I think, and it makes it easier to follow what you're saying. Especially in public speaking, ums and uhs often coincide, the speaker breaking eye contact and looking up at the ceiling as they try to remember the next thing they were going to say. Every time you notice your eyes drifting up to the ceiling, shut your mouth and re-establish eye contact before continuing. Be comfortable with taking your time and talking slow. Maybe and are natural fillers and do not make you sound any less professional or intelligent. But if you absolutely must, make sure to listen to what people are saying. Reiterate it to them and then carefully word your response. Watch videos of good speakers. There are some on TED Talks that are very good. You'll probably notice that they speak a little slower than you do, and that they make pauses for emphasis after certain sentences. In other words, they're not trying to fill every second with the sound of their voice. Well-placed silences during a presentation can be very constructive. Join Toastmasters. My public speaking teacher got me over this hump. If, during your speech, you said or he would loudly repeat it. By my third speech, they were gone. Replace it with the more professional hum. For example, use the tire to prop up the building. And change it to hum. Use the tire to prop up the building. And are like you are not confident and just saying things in the moment. Yet the hum is more professional and actually makes others believe you are pondering the question, situation, and then giving a solution you are confident about. When you look at those in management roles, most say hum and only the newbies say Best advice I received was to record yourself. You don't even realize how often you use filler words. Then play it back and tally how many filler words you used. Rinse, repeat. Also, slow down your thoughts and get comfortable with silence when speaking. Try hum. It's more contemplative,